Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things we're talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. They'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
arrived. To demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First Contact
the truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio. Morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. It always makes a difference when I turn the microphone on, doesn't it? Then you can hear what I'm saying. Welcome to the show today. I'm glad that you could be here as always. Today's the 30th of the month. We've made it to the end of September. October is knocking at the door. We'll be there in the morning. Today we have a moon sign that is transitioning between two different signs. Sagittarian is a sign that we've been in. It's a fire sign. During the course of the afternoon, we're in the void of course period, which means we've passed through the last aspect of Sagittarius, getting ready to go into the first aspect of Capricorn, but we're in that in-between phase, so it's called the void of course. Later this evening is when we'll actually get into that moon phase. So these void of course days, they're days when there's just a little bit more going on unconsciously, because there is that transition. There's not really a decision. It's not really Sagittarius. It's not really Capricorn. It's kind of in between. So we know what it's like when we get in between that in-between phase. There can be a lot of uncertainty. Things can be kind of at a standstill. And then things can get moving again once everything kind of gets cleared up and back in the right direction. So Sagittarius, fire, Capricorn, Earth. We're moving into an Earth sign later. So let's take a look at these here. Here's our Sagittarius. Our Capricorn is right here. Our numerology for today is the number 1 right here. We add up the 9 plus the 3, 0 plus the 2014 adds up to 19. 19. 1 plus 9 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. So today would be a 1. Here, just so you can see how you do this numerology. Okay, just take all the numbers, add them all up together. 9 plus 3 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 4 equals 19. 1 plus 9 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. That's a process of theosophic subtraction, continuing to reduce until you get one single number. As today, we'll take a look at the Capricorn for our highlights. Right down here, it's the Devil, which is Capricorn. That's what we're getting move into. So first thing, it's an Earth sign. Deals with the physical world. We see the star up ahead, which is upside down. We know the star represents man. So here it's upside down, so it's an upside down man, which means that the energy that's going into charge is coming in through the backside first. I like to say the energy comes in ass backwards, literally. So it's a misunderstanding. When the energy is flipped upside down, it means it's coming into the lower chakra. The lower chakra is the root chakra. Deals with the things of the physical world, sexuality, earthly things. When we are dealing with only that lower chakra energy, those are the lower consciousness thoughts we have. When we raise ourselves up and we allow that star to be flipped the right way, then we receive the energy through our crown chakra. It's a much different way of dealing with the energies. To this key of grotesque and terrible aspect is attributed mirth. The devil is that horrible character of exoteric dogmatism, which is so ridiculous that to an enlightened person, but deeper than this figure, represents the delusion of outward appearance. Key 15 is the opposite of 6, hence it shows what happens to us when we fail to use our faculty of discrimination. The ancients declared that the devil is God inverted. This refers to the conception of matter as opposed to spirit, though the truth is that both aspects of the one thing, so as is so graphically symbolized by the interlaced black and white triangles familiar to every student of occultism. The black background is a symbol of darkness and ignorance. The inverted pentagram on the brow of the devil symbolizes mental inversion, since it is a sign of man in reverse position. Thus it symbolizes falsehood and delusion. The symbol at the navel of the devil is that of Mercury. The pedestal upon which he sits is a half cube, symbolizing an imperfect understanding of the physical world, which is represented by a cube. The two figures are personifications of the self-conscious and subconscious minds, and their horns and hoofs indicate that delusion bestializes human consciousness. The chain which holds them to the block of delusion represents bondage, which is attributed to key 15. The Hebrew letter ayin means eye. It is all about learning to see past illusions, and that's what the devil represents. So we learn to look past the illusion of the devil, because when we do, this here is what we see. Wrong one. This here is what we see. Notice the same setup, male, female, but instead of the devil, we have the angel. We have a much different type of image. There's no chains. So when we get to the point where we are dealing with our ability to look through illusion, we no longer see this, but we see the other. But we have to understand that this deals with the physical world. So in the physical world, there are things to deal with. I mean, we live in a physical world. We're down here trying to accomplish different things. Everyone's working to accomplish something. So we can't ignore the physical world. It's part of where we are. But we just need to understand that we live in the physical world, though we are not of the physical world. We are from elsewhere. And so we learn how to work with the energies where we are at the present time. And career falls under this category, the physical things that we do to accomplish. What this is saying is that it's okay to do the physical things. Just don't get so caught up in thinking that it's the be-all, end-all of everything, because it isn't. It's just one aspect of life. So when we get caught up in the illusions, and then we're missing out what's really going on. All right, the moon phase. Waxing moon, 37% full, making its way up to a new moon. Our guide tonight. Let's see if it says Arcturus is the brightest star due west at nightfall. It's an orange giant 37 light years away. Off to its right in the northwest is the Big Dipper, most of whose stars are about 80 light years away. They're both sinking lower every week now. Okay. The Mayan Oracle today is a 10-tone day, which is called the planetary tone of manifestation. It's an eagle, so it's a 10 eagle guided by the night. Phrase for today is I perfect in order to create, producing mind. I seal the output of vision with the planetary tone of manifestation. I am guided by the power of abundance. Solar wind 366.4 kilometers per second. Planetary K index is unsettled at a 4. Most of our coronal hole has gone away, but we do still have this little gash, which is right there. 75% chance for an M class, 20% for an X. Geomagnetic storm activity, 20% in the mid and 25 in the highs. And on the Jewish calendar, today is 6 Tishri. And the daily thought for today is the gladiators. The rabbis of the Talmud, who lived in the Roman times, told that in the time yet to come God will entertain us with a gladiator tournament. We will watch and we will cheer on the victor. We will gasp as he falls and rejoice as he picks himself up again to continue the battle. And we will realize that this victor is each one of us, as we were fighting against the darkness in which we were cast as we lived within this world. Then we will laugh an unbridled laugh. Then we will know the unbounded delight of our Creator as He watched our victory here in this world now. And there you have it. That gets us started for today. UFO news is up next. Let's get to it.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. First sighting today is a compilation of sightings for the month of September. These are most remarkable sightings. We have multiple videos here of these sightings. Many of them we've seen. This first one is from earlier in the month, on the 9th of September, UFO descending into sea. This is the Baltic Sea. Okay, this one right here. It's a 5-minute, 43-second video. Then there was the 11th. This was Leon Guanajuato in Mexico. You can see this one up here seems to be going lower and lower into the sea, and there's that one. Remember that one there? And here's the one from Guanajuato. Quite a grouping of them. It's a lot. 3 we see there. We go to the 12th. We had the one over Normandy, France. Another large gathering. There we go. A gathering of ships there. And then we go over to, this is a news report of a fireball over California, Oregon. This was a film from a plane. There we go. That's a good shot. Interesting indeed. Next we go from here. We have the one over Fortaleza, Brazil. And then we go to a Waterford, Ireland. This is on the 22nd. It's a good compilation, isn't it? Alright, then we have the September 25th over Paris, France. Alright, so good compilation. Let's move on to the next story. Next up, we're going to go to Glendale, Arizona. This was earlier in the month. Unknown lights above Glendale. New footage of bright lights hovering above Glendale City in Maricopa County. This was recorded on the 8th of September. Alright, looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a whole bunch of them there. Alright, very cool. It's over Glendale, Arizona. Moving on to Washington, Seattle, Washington, the 23rd. Alright. You've certainly seen this kind before, the orb-like UFO. Interesting what that was. Alright, from Seattle, Washington, we're going to go over to Japan. Here we have 2 UFOs recorded over a volcano in Japan during an eruption. As Mount Ontake volcano erupted this week in Japan, it was broadcast all over national news. One person in Japan caught these 2 white UFOs, come over the mountain area. They're heading into the cloud to hide. Over 36 people are feared dead from this volcano's explosion, and UFOs are seen in the area. Did aliens cause this when the ships exited the volcano's mouth, or is it all a coincidence? Doors into underground bases are made by the ground being squeezed into a hollow tunnel so that the ship can come and go. The squeezing could cause slight earthquakes, resulting in eruptions if near a volcano. I don't like to think that aliens would care so little for humanity they would cause such a disaster, but then, what were they doing? Perhaps they predicted the eruption and wanted to record the event. Okay, so that's the question. Did the aliens create this, or is this just something that they were to monitor because they knew it was going to happen? Maybe they lessened it. Maybe it would have been worse. Alright, let's take another look at the object on Mars. This is the round object that we looked at the other day. It says, please don't be deceived by the simplicity of this object. Sure, it's round and sure it looks like a ball, but it is 100% proof that life once existed on Mars. This round object is an ancient fossil. It is a sea sponge and very common to Earth. Compare the close-up of the Mars ball and the Earth ball. You will notice an incredible similarity in their size, shape, and even indentations. This is hardcore evidence the ancient oceans teeming with life once existed. Alright. So that's the analysis of what this appears to be at this point. Okay. And move on. One more story here, UFO news related. This is called Confessions of an Abductee. It's a story from UFO Digest. Comes to us from Paul Schroeder. Thomas Jefferson, an otherwise brilliant man, refused to believe in the reality of meteorites reported fallen, as he believed that no rock could float in the air only to later fall. So inferiority in intellect is not an issue with those who cannot accept ghosts, demons, or alien existence from other reports. They, like Jefferson, are hamstrung and crippled by beliefs contrary to any truth about the unseen world around us, using a logic based on insufficient data of the true nature of reality. As an abductee for my whole life, I have stumbled through unknowing to suspicion and then resistance and counsel to offer rare insights and advice to detect and thwart alien soul and body tampering. Published widely and recognized as an eloquent note in the chorus of Urbanic yaps concerning experts who've never seen or confronted these myriad entities personally for 45 years, I write, do radio interviews, and assist filmmakers with background research. At night, your astral body travels from realms, from angelic to demonic, spirit worlds of myriads vibrational levels, and the pictures that you see on the backs of your eyelids while you REM are not dreams but visits, souvenirs of a greater reality. Like goldfish who never suspect a greater world beyond the pond's surface, the limited awareness of humankind floats beneath the surface of a greater reality, groping mouths agape in fish ignorance. Aliens hybridize and invade astrally to abduct, monitor, possess, to entangle their energies with ours, to ride the reincarnation roller coaster of our auras, giving a new meaning to silent invasion. As an abductee, whenever I've been in the presence of tall reptilians, rage and hatred is palatable, and then, according to several psychics who've never met each other, I am a reincarnated Pleiades officer who's on a rescue mission to save Earth children from reptilian slavery, and in the process, I and my crew were captured and hanged. Most fascinating, without ever seeing them, I have a noose-like scar from surgery on my neck to remove discs that crushed my spinal cord this lifetime. A vestigial remnant of reptilian vendetta exacted in this lifetime. Earth is under invasion, one person at a time, and we are all alone, together. These are my experiences echoed in a link at the end of the page of this journal entry. I felt electric vibrations throughout my whole body while in bed, and I saw my body then separate and float out of my body in astral abductions of my spiritual essence, which retained all of my predilections, and discrimination, all while leaving my chop meat DNA contrived body bereft of spirit behind in bed. At first glance, I believed that I had died. Out of body, I had conveyor belt travels, vivid OBE, sublime and terrifying experience at the hands of aliens directly tied to my previously monitored thoughts. More proof of an alien proprietary monetary consciousness suffered by abductees. I'm a 50-year-old, happily married father of 2 extraordinary teens. I am one who writes landscapes, crafts his own ales, hunts mushrooms, breeds native giant silk moths, plays bass and drums, and teaches. My wife and I have been friends and lovers for over 20 years, and she supports my hobbies and writing with a skeptical and cautious approach, which has helped keep me centered. I have seen different subjects of alien entities since I was a young child on the Shore Road in Brooklyn until my later years as a resident of Long Island, and I am convinced that many others have also struggled to assess and grasp similar indigestible alien experiences which challenge everything we've ever been taught. We've been told by experts like Carl Sagan, who recently passed, that Earth is too far out there, out in the boonies of our galaxy, to merit attention of ET, but he was dead wrong long before he was dead. Earth is and always has been a crossroads for many highly technological life forms. The mean-spirited ones now doing salvage are the vestigial remnants of a union that donated their DNA to set up this rare jewel of a preserve. Good gamekeepers never let the animals within suspect that it is indeed a preserve. That's why our planet looms as a seemingly rare botanical and animal jewel in the context of so many other barren worlds, so that we can discern in the universe. We, rather than having been divinely ordained for Earth, have been placed and farmed throughout the galaxy, seen as somebody else's property. Abductions and the remnant elusive memories have opened this up for me, a confirmed atheist, until I saw aliens float out of my body in the bed at night. Then I knew that there was more interested in an essence that I never suspected I had, a soul. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. You know, I want to throw out there something in regards to this alien abduction topic, because it's a very serious topic. In a couple months ago, I was at the Contact in the Desert UFO conference, and Travis Walton was there. Travis Walton is the gentleman who the movie Fire in the Sky is about his abduction experience in Arizona, how he was taken up. Well, according to the movie, he was taken up and he had all kind of horrific experiences during this abduction scenario, and then he was brought back down to Earth. And then there was a lot of testimonies about what was real and what wasn't, and so on. So Travis goes around on the lecture circuit, and over the years I've heard him speak many times. And over the years I've watched Travis change and grow as a speaker, become more confident. The more that he's able to speak about what happened to him and understand his story, the more confident he becomes. One of the things he said in the last conference was very fascinating, because up to this point he has been completely saying that what Hollywood did was just made up, what happened on the ship, because that's really not what happened. And up to this time we had heard many stories about the abduction, that he was abducted. But he said something this time which was different than the others before. He said after a lot of thinking about the process that happened, he doesn't believe anymore that they were trying to hurt him or that he was abducted for any negative purposes. What he said was he believes that when he got too close to this beam that came out of the ship, that it affected him and it knocked him out, and it affected his heart and he was going to die. He said for that reason alone, the aliens came down, they brought him up to the ship, and they took him through some procedures to save him. He said that's what they were doing. He said they saved his life because his heart was going to stop and he was going to be dead. He said they didn't abduct him for any bad reason. They saved his life. And this is what he said. This is what came out of his mouth, the words that Travis Walton said at his last event. And I could feel along the way that that was where it was building up to, because over the years of hearing him speak, and he would talk about the gifts that he had attained since his experience. So I think we need to really look at what's going on out there with a very critical eye. We don't want to take the stories and throw them out as being unreal, because there are people going through these scenarios. However, we don't want to jump to conclusions on what the result is of all of this if we don't know, because there might be more than meets the eye in the case of Travis Walton, where he says he believes that they were rescuing him, that they helped him to live, otherwise he would have been dead. So interesting things to think about. Just thought I'd throw those out. That's UFO news. I will be back. We will continue on with the book of Enoch. Stay tuned.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace. Great Spirit, send down your love, send down your love, send down your love to us from above. Oh, 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 oh. Great Spirit, shine down your light, shine down your light, shine down your light to light our way. Great Spirit, shine down your light, shine down your light, shine down your light to light our way. Oh, 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 oh.
All right, let's continue on. So the last several weeks, on Tuesdays, we've been going through the Book of Enoch. Today we're going to continue on. We're up to chapter, is this 50, 60, 76? Is that what that is? All right, 12 windows and their portals. At the end of the earth, I saw 12 portals open to all the quarters of heaven, from which the winds go forth and blow over the earth. 3 of them are open on the face, for example, the east of the heavens, and 3 in the west, 3 on the right of heaven, and 3 on the left. And the 3 first are those of the east, and the 3 are of the south, and the 3 after those in the left of the south, and 3 of the west. Through 4 of these come winds of blessings and prosperity, and from those 8 come hurtful winds. When they are sent, they bring destruction to all the earth, and on the water upon it, and all those who dwell thereon, and on everything which is in the water and on the land. And the first wind from those portals, called the east wind, comes forth through the first portal which is in the east, inclining towards the south. From it come forth desolation, drought, heat, and destruction. And through the second portal in the middle comes that what is fitting, and from it there come rain and fruitfulness, and prosperity and dew. And through the third portal which lies towards the north comes cold and drought. And after these come forth the south winds through 3 portals. Through the first portal of them inclining in the east comes forth a hot wind. And through the middle portal next to it comes fragrant smells and dew and rain and prosperity and wealth. And through the third portal lying in the west come forth dew and rain, locust and desolation. And after these the north winds. From the 7th portal in the east comes dew and rain, locust and desolation. And from the middle portal in the direct direction, health and rain and dew and prosperity. And through the 3rd portal in the west come cloud and hoarfrost, and snow and rain and dew and locust. And after these 4 are the west winds. Through the first portal adjoining the north come forth dew and hoarfrost, and cold and snow and frost. And from the middle portal come forth dew and rain, and prosperity and blessings. And through the last portal which adjourns the south come forth drought and desolation, and burning and destruction. And the 12 portals of the 4 quarters of heaven are therewith completed. In all their laws and all their plagues and all their benefactions have I shown thee, my son, Methuselah. And the first quarter is called the east, because it is the first, and the second the south, because the Most High will descend there. Yea, there in quite a special sense will he who is blessed forever descend. And the west quarter is named the diminished, because there all the luminaries of heaven wane and go down. And the 4th quarter, named the north, is divided into 3 parts. The first of them is for the dwelling of the men. The second contains the seas of water, and the abysses, and forests, and rivers, and darkness, and clouds. And the 3rd part contains the garden of righteousness. And I saw 7 mountains, higher than all of the mountains which are on the earth. And thence comes forth hoarfrost, and days, seasons, and years pass away. I saw 7 rivers on the earth, larger than all the rivers. One of them, coming from the west, pours its waters into the great sea. And these 2 come from the north to the sea, and pour their waters into the Hilarion Sea, into the east. And the remaining 4 come forth to the side of the north, to their own sea, to the Hilarion Sea, and 2 into the great sea, and discharge themselves there. 7 great islands I saw in the sea, in the mainland, 2 in the mainland, and 5 in the great sea. And the names of the sun are the following. The first Ojaris, and the second Tomas. And the moon has 4 names. The first name is Asonja, the second Ebla, the third Ebase, and the fourth Irari. These are the 2 great luminaries. Their circumference is like the circumference of heaven, and the size of the circumference is both alike. In the circumference of the sun there are 7 portions of the light which are added to it in more than to the moon, and in definite measures it is transferred till the 7th portion of the sun is exhausted. And they set and enter the portals of the west, and make their revolution by the north, and come forth through the eastern portals of the face of heaven. And when the moon rises, 1/14th part appears in the heaven. The light becomes full in her. On the 14th day she accomplishes her light, and 15 pairs of light are transferred to her till her 15th day. Her light is accomplished according to the sign of the year, and she becomes 15 parts, and the moon grows by the addition of 14 parts. In her waning, the moon decreases on the first day to 14 parts of her light, on the second to 13 parts, on the third to 12, fourth to 11, fifth to 10, sixth to 9, seventh to 8, eighth to 7, ninth to 6, 10th to 5, 11 to 4, 12 to 3, 13 to 2, and on the 14th to the half of a 7th, and all her remaining light disappears wholly on the 15th. And in certain months, the month has 29 days, and once 28. And Oriel showed me another law, which light is transferred to the moon, on which side is transferred to her by the sun. During all the periods during which the moon is growing in her light, she is transferring it to herself. When opposite to the sun, during 14 days, her light is accomplished in the heaven. And when she is illuminated and through her light is accomplished full in the heaven. And on the first day she is called the new moon, for on that day the light rises upon her. She becomes full exactly on the day when the sun sets in the west, and from the east she rises at night, and the moon shines in the whole night through till the sun rises over against her, and the moon is seen over against the sun. On the side of the light of the moon comes forth. There again she wanes till all her light vanishes, and all the days of the month are at an end, and her circumference is empty, void of light. In 3 months she makes 30 days, and her time she makes 3 months of 29 days each, in which she accomplishes her waning in the first period of time, in the first portal of 177 days. In the time of her going out she appears for 3 months of 30 days each, and for 3 months she appears of 29 each. At night she appears like a man for 29 days each, but by day she appears like the heaven, and there is nothing else in her save her light. And now, my son, I have shown thee everything, and the law of the stars of the heaven is completed. And he showed me all the laws of these for every day, and for every season of the bearing rule, and for every year, and for its going forth, and the order prescribed to it every month and every week, and the waning of the moon, which takes place in the 6th portal, for it is the 6th portal her light is accomplished, and after that there is the beginning of the waning, and the waning which takes place in the 1st portal, and its seasons till 177 days are accomplished, reckoned according to weeks, 25 weeks and 2 days. She falls behind the sun, and the order of the stars exactly 5 days in the course of the period, and when this place which thou hast seen has been traversed. Such is the picture and sketch of every luminary which Oriel the archangel, who is their leader, showed unto me. And in those days the angel Oriel answered and said to me, Behold, I have shown thee everything, Enoch, and I have revealed everything to thee, that thou shouldst see this sun and the moon, and the leaders of the stars of the heavens, and all of those who turn them, their tasks, and their times, and their departures. And in the days of this perversion of nature and the heavenly bodies, owing to the sin of man. And in the days of the sinners the years shall be shortened, and their seed shall be tardy in the lands and the fields, and all things on the earth shall alter, and shall not appear in their time, and the rain shall be kept back, and the heavens shall withhold it. And in those times the fruits of the earth shall be backwards, and shall not grow in their time, and the fruits of the trees shall be withheld in their time, and the moon shall alter her order, and not appear at her time in those days the sun shall be seen, and he shall journey in the evening on the extremity of the great chariot of the west, and shall shine more brightly than accords with the order of light. And many chiefs of the stars shall transgress the order, and these shall alter their orbits and tasks, and not appear at the seasons prescribed to them. And the whole order of the stars shall be concealed from the sinners, and the thoughts of those of the earth shall err concerning them, and they shall be altered from their ways. Yea, they shall err, and take them to be gods, and evil shall be multiplied upon them, and punishment shall come upon them, so as to destroy all. And he said unto me, Observe, Enoch, these heavenly tablets, and read what is written thereon, and mark every individual fact. And I observed the heavenly tablets, and read everything which was written thereon, and understood everything, and read the book of all the deeds of mankind, and of all the children in the flesh that shall be upon the earth to the remotest generations. And forthwith I blessed the great Lord of the King of glory forever, in that he has made all the works of the world. And I extolled the Lord because of his patience, and blessed him because of the children of men. And after that I said, Blessed is the man who dies in righteousness and goodness, concerning whom there is no book of unrighteousness written, and against whom no day of judgment shall be found. And those 7 holy ones brought me and placed me on the earth before the door of my house, and said to me, Declare everything to thy son Methuselah, and show to all thy children that no flesh is righteous in the sight of the Lord, for he is their creator. 1 year we will leave thee with thy son, till thou givest thy last commands, that thou mayest teach thy children, and record for them, and testify to all thy children. And in the 2nd year they shall take thee from their midst. Let thy heart be strong, for the good shall announce righteousness to the good. The righteous with the righteous shall rejoice, and shall offer congratulation to one another. But the sinners shall die with the sinners, and the apostate go down with the apostate. And those who practice righteousness shall die on account of the deeds of men, and be taken away on account of the doings of the godless. And in those days they ceased to speak of me, and I came to my people, blessing the Lord of the world. And now, my son Methuselah, all these things I am recounting to thee, and writing down for thee. And I have revealed to thee everything, and given thee books concerning all of these. So preserve, my son Methuselah, the books from thy father's hand, and see that thou deliver them to the generations of the world. I have given wisdom to thee and to thy children, and thy children that shall be to thee, that they may give it to their children for generations, this wisdom, namely, that passeth their thought. And those who understand it shall not sleep, but shall listen with an ear, that they may learn this wisdom. And it shall please those that eat thereof better than good food. Blessed are the righteous, blessed are those who walk in the way of righteousness, and sin not as the sinners in the reckoning of their days, in which the sun traverses the heaven, entering into and departing from the portal for 30 days, with the heads of thousands of the order of stars, together with the 4th, which are intercalculated, which divide the 4 portions of the year, which lead them and enter with them 4 days. Owing to them men shall be at fault, and not reckon with them in the whole reckoning of the year. Yea, men shall be at fault, and not recognize them accurately. For they belong to the reckoning of the year, and are truly recorded forever. 1 in the 1st portal, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 6th, and the year is completed in 364 days. And the account thereof is accurate, and the recorded reckoning thereof exact, for the luminaries and months, and the festivals, and the years, and the days, as Oriel shown and revealed to me, to whom the Lord of the whole creation of the world hath subjected the host of heaven. And he has power over night and day in the heavens, to cause the light to give light to men, sun, moon, stars, and all the powers of the heaven which revolve in their circular chariots. And these are the orders of the stars, which set in their places, and in their seasons and festivals and months. And these are the names of those who lead them, who watch them, that they enter in their times, in their orders, in their seasons, and in their months, in their periods of dominion, in their positions. Their 4 leaders who divide the 4 parts of the year enter first, and after them the 12 leaders of the orders who divide the months. And for the 360 days, there are heads over thousands who divide the days, and for the four intercalary days are the leaders which sunder the four parts of the year, and these heads over thousands are intercalculated between leader and leader, each being a station, but their leaders make the division, and these are the names of the leaders who divide the four parts of the year, which are ordained: Mikael, Hel Emekel, Meligel, Nariel. And the names of those who lead them are Adnel El, Edusa El, Elohim El, and these three follow the leaders of the order. And there is one that follows the three leaders of the order, which follow these leaders of stations that divide the four parts of the year. In the beginning of the year, Melekagel rises first and rules, who is named Tam-Anan, and the sun in all the days of his dominion, whilst he bears the rules in 91 days. And these are the signs of the days which are to be seen on the earth in the days of his dominion: sweat and heat and calms. And all the trees bear fruit, and leaves are produced, and on all the trees, and the harvest of wheat, and the rose flowers, and all the flowers which come forth in the field. But the trees of the winter season become withered. And these are the names of the leaders which are under them: Burka-El, Zelabs-El, and another who is added to the head of 1,000 is called Ujusapap. And in the days of the dominion of his leaders are at an end. The next leader after him is Hel Emelech, whom one names the shining sun, and all the days of the light are 91 days. And these are the signs of his days: and the earth of glowing heat and dryness, and the trees ripen their fruits and produce all the fruit ripe and ready, and the sheep pair and become pregnant, and all the fruits of the earth are gathered in, and everything that is in his fields, and the winepress. These things take place in the days of his dominions. These are the names of his orders, and the leaders of the heads of thousands: Gidget-Ijal, Ki-El, Hil-El, and the name of the head of the thousands which is added to them, Asta-El, and the days of his dominion are at an end. Alright, the dream visions will be the next section. We'll leave that for next time, because that was quite a bit of information there. Alright, so there you go. We've gone through the whole book and courses of the luminaries. Pretty interesting. So everything is ordered in the way it is, and what Enoch described and discovered and all that good stuff. A lot to learn from. A lot that lot more going on with the body, with the world, and the universe than what we're actually informed about. But this book of Enoch certainly talks about the difference between the righteous and the unrighteous, between the godless and those who are believing and trusting in God. And those who are the righteous and the elect, they're okay, and the ones who are the godless and the wicked, keeps reiterating over and over that they're the ones who are going to have the problems. Alright, here's an article from In5D and Michelle Walling. It's called "Do We Need Our Chakras?" These are the energy centers down the body that we open when we do the meditations. There's been some buzz lately about whether or not we need our chakras at this point in humanity's conscious development. Some are saying that they are now ready to consider either merging their chakras into one energy center, and some say they're ready to dissolve their chakras. Others ridicule these theories altogether, saying we need our chakras as human beings in order to exist in physicality. The following material was extracted from the website universal-mind.org. It says, from the earliest written account that has been revealed to us of the chakras are believed to be part of the Vedas, an old written tradition in Indian said to have originated between 2000 to 6000 BC and started by the Indo-European invaders of India known as the Aryans. The word was a metaphor for the sun, which traverses the world like a trumpet chariot of the Chakravartin, and donates the external cycle of time called the Kalakraka, or Wheel of Time. In this way, it represents celestial order and balance. The chakras are, generally speaking, concerned with the heightening of consciousness in an individual. The term consciousness is really just another way of referring to an individual's state of mind, and therefore the chakras are tied into psychological issues and the mental development of a being. They are concerned with helping us attain enlightenment. Each one of us possesses 7 primary chakras. Some claim there are other subsidiary ones, and through the awakening of their chakras, an individual is said to awaken to the realization of the external absolute reality. Each chakra is said to exist within the subtle body, overlaying the physical body. Through modern psychology, we're able to see these 7 chakras correspond exactly to the 7 main ganglia which emanate from the spinal column. There are even some scientific evidence of their existence. However, science has been very slow to take up the gauntlet. As we ascend our energy up to chakras, we achieve a higher level of consciousness to the point where we voluntarily release ourselves from the bondage of the greed, hate, anger that was originally brought upon by our confused state of mind. When we reach the very top, we begin to understand our connection to all things and realize the purpose of our existence. All right, here's different ways to look at the chakras. In the article, 7 Chakras and 7 Links to Your Consciousness, the author shares the chakras are amazing, organic, 3-dimensional centers of energy, and within them they hold so many secrets. One observation I have with the statement is that many of us are ready for a higher vibrational experience than 3D. Traditional methods of chakra alignment, as described in this article, serve the purpose of balancing our energy as required for blissful 3D experience. It is necessary to learn a little bit more about the chakras before deciding what to do with them. Okay, a lot more to the article here as we can see. Ask a good question. Why would you want to get rid of the chakras? The interest in dissolving the chakras began with the shedding light on the archonic manipulation that has been plaguing humanity for thousands of years. Various forms of mind control and energy vampirism include implants which can attach themselves to chakras and to the brain itself. Through clairvoyance, energy workers began to identify the energy vampires that attack the chakras. Removal of these beings and implants allowed the person to raise their vibration and continue advancing towards their spiritual goals of moving out of the dense 3D inorganic experience. The thought process is that by removing the chakras, one would remove one of the devices by which the archon is capable of siphoning one's energy. My friend Lance White has done his homework on the subject. In Lance's amazing interview with Inela Benz, they discussed the chakra removal. Inela explains that some of the human collective is now ready for this information. She describes the chakras as tools that can be used either positively or negatively and can be created or dissolved as you like. George Casavelis says that he has completely removed his chakras in many interviews, and thus he seemed to be a way shower in the subject. Lance also interviewed George, and he confirms that really all of the population meditation techniques involving activating certain chakras and using them as a template will be the constriction within a certain boundary. Could he be referring to the false matrix? George further explains the only true direct connection is through the center singularity of self. To me, this could be interpreted as the heart center, where the seat of the soul is, but not necessarily the combination of all chakras into the heart chakra. Okay, we have the interview and her conclusion. Confusion with contradiction is the most spiritual practice arises from the fact that we are all here on an individual journey. Each soul has an individual path through which it has traveled, and the culminative experience can be activated in the now, depending upon the level of consciousness that soul has brought into the now, and how much awareness they have of the consciousness in this incarnation depends on decisions they should make with their chakras. As Nelius said, they are tools that can be used for positive energy vibration as well as for negative siphoning of energy. If you are at the beginning level of raising your vibration, then why not use them to your advantage, to clear your energy and therefore clear your head, gaining the capability to begin thinking clearly about your next step. Clearing out negative energy allows for that space to be filled with more of your own light and true essence. However, if you're going to use a tool, know how to use it right. Learn how to protect yourself from energy vampires. If you're being attacked by archons or their minions, then it is likely that they could be using your chakras. More information is coming out pointing to why these energy centers added to the human body. You can clear this energy by consciously minimizing the chakras by reversing the expansion techniques used by a particular meditation. The next step would be to protect yourself with the white light energy egg. Of course, some people require extra help if the vampirism has gotten out of control to the point where the person sees themselves as powerless. All right, let me just jump down to the end of the article here. Well, let's see. We can read through a little more. Some people decide that they would like to rid themselves of chakras altogether. Lance mentions Carla Fox is another person that's removed their chakras. I've also heard of people simply using their own power to intend and visualize the chakras being dissolved one by one. Some people feel as if they are merging with their multidimensional self, which has all of the experiences of past and future lives. By merging with these parts of themselves, they are healing themselves in preparation for linking directly with the I Am Presence. The eternal energy can be accessed through the physical body, may also be represented in the space between, or what scientists have labeled dark matter. According to Lance White, the goal of dissolving the chakras is not the same as activating the DNA or bringing a new software program online. He feels that these actions may truly be limiting to you while you experience, may be limiting you to another experience within the matrix while becoming your true self beyond the cosmos, as we are infinite beings. There seems to be several steps and tools that one can use to increase awareness and ultimate consciousness in order to remember how to integrate our multidimensional selves. The chakras seem to be connected to that, and as such are vulnerable to misuse and control. Bringing in more of our eternal essence cannot be done all at once because the body cannot handle it. We cannot possibly bring all of the consciousness here into this physical body, as the energy and even larger than Earth itself. I feel as if my goal is to connect those parts of our multidimensional consciousness that experienced many other lives and merge with them into our heart center, then connect that conglomerate to the core of the planet. As we continue to make the connection with Mother Earth, we are guided as to what interests us and what will help us make the ultimate Stargate connection to our soul's essence. All the answers are within you, and in my opinion, there is really no one way or guide to teaching the ultimate goal of ascension, what actually translates to ascension as related to going within. Clear as mud, right? It's not really so complicated once you realize our limitations can be reduced by simply placing our attention on the doorways or Stargate that leads to all of the answers. Prior incarnations, contracts, interference, and current amount of time spent intending to raise your vibration and your soul group origins are all factors involved in defining what a soul's path will be. This is the first time a species has performed the task connecting the physical body in this manner with the planet and bringing the organic template back online. We are writing this manual as we go. Once a few people have accomplished this, others will have a better idea of what method we will work for them. As we recognize that confusion over he said, she said can be averted, it allows way showers to move forward and to share their experiences with each method without controversy. Did I just hear Michelle? You ask, Michelle, what are you going to do with your chakras? I thought so. Currently, I do not feel the need to remove my chakras. However, I'm going to use them as a tool to expand them in order to clear my energy and raise my vibrations when I need to, and to contract them and guard them when I'm around other people, or I feel like I may need have some outside interference. I currently do not feel that I have enough evidence in my reality that to remove my chakras, or to whether the chakras can actually be removed. I do have a strong desire to exit any matrix that is structured or controlling. I do want to find the doorway to be able to come and go outside of the silver cord that leads to the reincarnation cycle. By focusing on this goal, the question of keeping the chakras may indeed take care of itself. As I continue to experience, I will be sure to share it on In5D. Good article, good question. Look, we're all dealing with energy and ways to deal with the energy. These chakras are part of our experience. They're part of our energetic body. For some reason, they've been talked about for a long time by ancients on this planet, our ancestors. So there is something important. However, with all energy, there are those out there who can get a hold of it and they can manipulate it. So therefore, it's important that each one of us learns how to protect ourselves. And that's what we do when we do the meditations. We practice ways that we protect ourselves using our energy and knowing when other people are or beings are using our energy. Because we don't want our energy to be used. And if we're aware that others are, we just cut them off. It's that simple. I don't think we have to get rid of all of our chakras. I think they're important to us. But it is important, the issues that were brought up in the article of how to protect oneself. Very important indeed. That brings us to our message for today. Today it's Hilarion. Here we go.
Hilarion.
September 28th through October 5th, 2014, by Marlene Swetleshoff.
Hilarion.
Beloved ones, as the world shifts to a higher dimension, it is for the most part not recognized by the world at large, only by those who are attuned to the energy influxes. It is the lighted ones such as you who hold and anchor the light on earth. Many of you do not recognize the important role that you play in the unfolding events, and we want you to know that every one of you is needed at this time. It is important to hold your light and stay in a space of peace and calm, joy and happiness. By doing this you counteract the attempts to keep the populace living in fear and worry, and that balancing effect is needed now. Many of you are gearing up as your creativity flows through you and you are inspired with many wonderful ideas and creative projects. Some of you feel overwhelmed with the abundance of ideas that are coming into your consciousness and feel that you do not know which one to pursue. Know that if you record the information that comes to you, you will be able to know instinctively which is ready to manifest and which can be looked at later. Many times, the downloads of information coming into the Earth's atmosphere are received by many different individuals, and so there will be a theme that emerges that is shared with many others. Each individual is unique, and so what comes through each one will never be quite the same. It is also a time to go within in deep contemplation, to listen to the guidance of your heart and decide the things that must go in your life and that which you are truly grateful for and which nourish and sustain you. Let go of all that no longer has meaning for you so that you simplify your daily life and make room for the new energy to come flowing in. Challenge yourself to live with less and give away what you no longer use to someone else who might need it. There is a beautiful world of freedom and fresh breath that exists once this is accomplished. You'll reap the rewards of pleasing living areas, reduced stress, and a more organized and productive existence. Take a look at each area of your life and write down all of your commitments. Then look at each one and decide whether it really brings you joy and value, and if it is worth the amount of time that you invest in it. Learn how to say no and decline offers. If you eliminate the things that don't bring you joy or value, you'll have more time for the things that you love. Identify what is most important in your life, and what's most important for you to focus on right now. Explore different areas of your life that you don't think about much. This exploration might allow you to find some things on your mind that you didn't realize were there, some things that can be eliminated or pursued. Just focus on one task at a time. Clear away everything else, until you're done with that task. Then focus on the next task. Take life and its demands at your own pace. If you do less, you'll have less on your mind. Writing down your tasks and ideas keeps your head from being filled with everything you need to do, and remember, you are in control of your circumstances. You are in control of you. Learn what things are in and out of your control. If something is out of your control, accept this fact so you can focus on the things you can control, the things that you can change. No two things can occupy the same space in your mind at the same time. Decide consciously and with intention. What will you choose to take, and what will you choose to leave behind? You can have one thought at any given moment, but not 2 or 10. Every day you will get closer to the freedom and peace that only an uncluttered mind can give you. Make room only for positivity, for joy, for serenity, for optimism, and for happiness. It is a process, it is an adjustment, it takes time, but it works. The reward is a quiet, peaceful mind and a happier, more serene existence filled with positive thoughts and a heart that is filled with peace, joy, and love. Until next week. I am Hilarion.
Alright, very good message. As always, that brings us to our meditation. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. As you breathe in and out, feel yourself in synchronicity with the universe. As you breathe in and out, feel the universe breathing in and out. And as you breathe, notice how you begin to become in synchronistic rhythm with the breathing of the universe. And as you move to this rhythm, you realize that this rhythm is always here and is part of who you are. And that when we tap into this rhythm, when we move to the rhythm of the universe, things move smoothly. And that when we try to get out of sync and we try to go against the universe, we find that we have more challenges. So we learn to take time, and so we take a moment to contemplate what the universe has to tell us today, what the universe has to show us today. And as we allow ourselves to gather this information, to receive what is being shared with us, we find ourselves moving effortlessly along the path of life. So let's imagine ourselves just moving along through today effortlessly. Whatever challenges or problems, we find a way to effortlessly overcome those and to learn from the experience. Let's contemplate the words of the affirmation. I choose to express confident attitude to others. I choose to express a confident attitude to others. And imagine yourself moving through the world confidently, calmly. Just imagine yourself sending love and light out into the world to all those places that are in need. And just imagine yourself going through the world today, just sending this love wherever you see it, knowing that the moment you send the love into the problem areas, that the problem gets resolved. So let's just imagine ourselves sending love. Let our unconscious mind continue on that journey. Let's bring our conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale, and open your eyes. That's it again today, my friends. Thank you very much for being here. It's always a pleasure to be able to be here each and every day to do the shows. I really love knowing that you're out there doing the meditations as well. We're all in this together, and that's really cool to experience and be a part of. So thank you very much. I'll be back tomorrow with more news and information. I love you. Keep loving each other, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.